Imagine waking up tomorrow and discovering that every social media app you use has vanished. No TikTok, no Instagram, no Snapchat, no endless group chats, no scrolling before bed. For millions of teenagers across the UK, that possibility is suddenly being taken seriously. Governments, researchers and parents have spent years arguing over the same question. Is social media helping young people connect, or is it quietly damaging an entire generation? And now, for the first time, some politicians believe they have an answer. Ban it, or at least make it much harder for children to access. At first, that sounds simple. If social media causes problems, remove social media, problem solved. But history is full of moments when a solution created an even bigger mystery. And that's where things get strange, because nobody actually knows what happens when an entire generation grows up with less social media. This has never happened before. For more than a decade, social media hasn't just been an app on a phone. It's become part of daily life. It's where friendships are maintained, where trends are born, where teenagers learn what's cool, what's important, and sometimes even who they are. Remove that, and you're not just changing an app. You're changing childhood itself. The question is, what happens next? To understand why this debate became so intense, we need to go back to something researchers started noticing years ago. At first, the changes seemed small. Teenagers were sleeping less. Anxiety rates appeared to be rising. More young people reported feeling lonely despite being connected to hundreds of people online. Parents blamed phones. Tech companies blamed everything else. And researchers began searching for evidence. The answer seemed obvious. Kids were spending more time online. Therefore, social media must be causing the problem. But there was a problem. The evidence didn't fully fit. Some teenagers who spent hours online seemed perfectly happy. Others who barely used social media still struggled with anxiety and loneliness. If social media was the cause, why wasn't everyone being affected the same way? And that created a new mystery. Maybe the issue wasn't simply being online. Maybe it was what happened while people were online. Because social media had quietly transformed into something much bigger than a place to share photos. It had become a giant competition for attention. Every notification, every like, every comment, every streak, every viral video. They were all competing for the same thing, your brain. While both sides fought over what should happen, almost nobody was asking a much more important question. What happens if the ban actually works? Because removing social media doesn't remove the need for friendship, entertainment, status, belonging, or connection. Humans have always needed those things. So if one system disappears, what replaces it? Supporters think the UK social media ban will finally get kids off their phones. But that's not really how kids work. If you remove one app, they don't disconnect. They migrate immediately. Some will act like they've quit social media while actively running free burner accounts and calling it research. Others will move to whatever the next app is called, something like Chat Plus Ultra, which will be popular for exactly 6 days before adults, teachers, and at least one news headline ruin it. Group chats will basically become underground economies. There will always be one kid who becomes the tech guy, even though his entire knowledge is just screenshots from Reddit and blind confidence. And somehow, every school will have at least one student insisting this method is completely undetectable right before it stops working during period 3. Meanwhile, the goal of less screen time doesn't disappear. It just evolves. Because when one platform gets taken away, teenagers don't reduce chaos. They redistribute it. And usually, they find a way to make it faster, weirder, and slightly more chaotic than before.